You know what? I like it when a brand tries to veer away from the typical boring stuff and offers something quite different, regardless of whether it is just a gimmick or not. As long as it doesn't take away much from the overall normal experience, I'm all for it. Especially when it comes to the mechanical keyboard hobby that honestly starts to get saturated with pretty much the same offering, just slight iteration here and there. So today, we're taking a look at something different with the Angry Miao Compact Touch, formerly known as the AM65-less. And since there are a ton of things I want to tackle about this keyboard, I'll break it into two parts. The unboxing and teardown experience, which is this video, and another one where I'll share with you all my thoughts in a proper full review. With that being said, let's crack this open and let's get into it. Starting with the packaging, what I have here is the review sample featuring a premium looking silver box. This is the Back to the Future variant with bundled Angry Miao IC silver switches and Back to the Future die-sub PBT keycaps. Upon opening the box, the first thing you'll notice is the AM Compact Touch keyboard itself, nicely protected by a soft cloth pouch. Underneath this foam platform, we have the rest of the package contents. We have an accessory box, which we'll take a look at in a minute, a nice microfiber cloth, some replacement ribbon cables, and an extra bottom foam pad. Upon opening the accessory box, we have everything that we need to tear this keyboard apart and some replacement leaf springs to further customize the overall feel of this keyboard. First, we have a bunch of screws, standoffs, and silicone fasteners. We also have a nice precision screwdriver, another small screwdriver for removing the screws on the plate, 4 stainless steel leaf springs which are the harder ones, and 2 phosphorus copper leaf springs which are the softer ones. These leaf springs allow this keyboard to have up to 8 different combinations in terms of its feel, and in combination with the vast available switches and keycaps, not to mention various sound dampeners and other mods, make this keyboard one of the most versatile compact keyboards ever. Now let's take a look at the AM Compact Touch keyboard itself. By the way, as you can tell, the overall unboxing experience is really nice. That's why I decided to create a dedicated video about it. At first look and touch, this Back to the Future variant looks absolutely clean and nostalgic with a quite neutral colorway that I feel will perfectly match my current desk setup. It is also substantially heavy and chunky given its super compact form factor. Obviously, with an aluminum chassis, this won't flex at all. It weighs roughly around 1.5 kilograms and feels really solid and premium. Now in terms of the layout, regardless of what Angry Miao is trying to claim, honestly, it is essentially an HHKB layout with just a standard backspace. Again, what we have here is the Back to the Future variant with a matching set of keycaps. Flipping it on the front side, we'll see the quite unique and in a way controversial touch panel that works as an arrow keys replacement. Angry Miao actually called this keyboard AM65-less before because of this, but this is definitely not a 65% keyboard, and they've actually listened to the community feedback and changed the name to AM Compact Touch. I'll give you my full thoughts about this touch panel in the full review as I use this keyboard as my daily driver, so make sure to subscribe if you're interested. Now flipping it on the left side, as you can tell, this keyboard is definitely a chunky boy with a very steep angle. This is to allow a bunch of features like the adjustable and interchangeable leaf springs, the battery, and wireless charging. Flipping it on the back side, we have a window here that allows the wireless transmission to pass through for better stability. We also have the USB Type-C port here at the center and an engraving above it that, as far as I know, you can request to be customized. Now turning it all over at the bottom, we have 4 substantial rubber feet and key-compatible wireless charging. Overall, the unboxing experience is really nice, and the keyboard as it is out of the box looks really good as well. Alright, so now let's move on to the teardown experience, and right off the gate, I can tell you right now that this keyboard is one of the easiest to tear apart and customize, except maybe for the ribbon cables. But overall, especially with the amount of customization you can do with this, the teardown experience is really easy, and I can even say beginner friendly. So the first step, especially if you only need to access the leaf springs and bottom case foam, is to remove the keycaps that covers the screws. Then carefully remove the screws using the included screwdriver. The screws are the same height, so you don't have to worry about it. After removing the screws, you can now gently lift the front panel, exposing the first ribbon cable. You don't need to remove it, but let me do just that so you can see these gaskets up close. All the gaskets on this keyboard are located on the chassis itself rather than on the plate. Now the upper top cover isn't attached to any ribbon cable, so you can just lift it like so. Here you can get a better look at the window for the wireless frequency and the gaskets around the top cover. Next, gently lift the PCB and plate combo because it is attached to a bunch of ribbon cables underneath. If you only need to interchange the leaf springs, no need to remove the ribbon cables. But if you also want to remove, change or add a bottom case foam, obviously you'll have to remove them. Removing the ribbon cables is pretty straightforward. Just lift the lock and pull the cable gently. Super easy. Now, at the stock configuration, we have 2 stainless steel leaf springs at the bottom, which are the hard ones, and 4 phosphorus copper leaf springs at the top, which are the soft ones. All are in Gear 1 configuration, which is the soft or the most flexible option. You can interchange this up to 8 different combinations. I'll share with you a few combinations and more sound tests on the full review. Aside from the leaf springs, we also have a thin layer of foam here. We also have a dedicated PCB for the blocker lighting module, but with the standard variants like what we have here, the illumination is blocked. This is for the special edition laser and mech variants. Now this is completely unnecessary, but removing this part of the keyboard, we can take a closer look at the daughter board, especially the wireless module right here. The daughter board is also connected to the battery using these pins, which I find really clever. Right here, we have a fairly adequate 5000 mAh of battery. Now, as I've pointed out earlier, you can come up with up to 8 different flex configurations with this keyboard using the detachable leaf springs. If you only need to adjust the gear level or the amount of tension, you can just unfasten the screw a bit, rotate the leaf spring, and move the leaf spring stopper either on gear 1 or 2 depending on your preference. Then put the screw back in. As you can tell, gear 2 is stiffer while gear 1 is more flexible. And aside from the gear levels, you can also replace the leaf springs themselves with phosphorus copper, which is softer, or the stiffer stainless steel. Now, putting it all back together is as simple as reversing the process, but you can also opt to add the additional adjustment pad right here, especially if you choose the gear 2 combinations for a more concentrated sound. The most tricky part of the rebuilding process is reattaching the ribbon cables, but nothing can't be done with some patience, right? After that, all you have to do is line up the PCB and plate combo with the leaf springs, reattach the upper and bottom covers, secure them with screws, and put back all the missing switches and keycaps. Now, if you also want to tear apart the PCB and plate combo, obviously, you also need to remove the keycaps and switches. Now, here's a closer look at the PCB and plate combo. The plate has flex cuts all over the place, but looks clean nonetheless. The hot swap sockets as well as the bundled switches are made by TTC. To tear this apart, the first thing you need to do is remove all the silicone fasteners around the plate. Kinda challenging if you recently cut your nails, but should be manageable. After that, remove the 2 screws at the sides of the space bar using the included small screwdriver. Now we have access to the plate foam dampener, the switch pad, and of course, the stabilizers. The stabilizers are pre-lubed out of the factory and generally decent for this pre-built variant. We also have a stabilizer dampener here on the PCB, which is good to see. I actually replaced the stock stabilizers with AE Board Stabis V2, but I'll share the complete sound test on the full review. Overall, I was able to tear this keyboard apart multiple times now, and I'd say the experience is worth the while, especially if you want to experiment with each and every possible configuration with the leaf springs. Like I said, I want to tackle everything I can about this keyboard, but I don't want to overwhelm you with a lengthy video. So watch out for my full review, including my overall experience daily driving this keyboard and all of its details, especially the functionality of the touch panel and what I honestly think about it. I'll also discuss its software, performance, and overall typing experience. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. And although Angry Miao sent this as an early review sample, this is not a sponsored video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you on the full review. Have a great day, guys. You're awesome.